So I leave the app for like a hot friggin' minute and come back, and now TikTok is saying that they want landscape video that is more than a minute long, and everyone's going a little bit gaga about it. But there's a reason. Let me fill you in on what the hell's going on. I mean, first and foremost, I do not like this angle. It's weirding me out after thousands of hours of video in portrait. This one does not feel right. People have been asking about what's going to be hot and happening in 2024, and I've been talking about this a fair amount. And the thing is, video content is here to stay. It is not freaking going anywhere. So if you are still not on this bus yet, you're going to have to, if you want your content and your audience to do, big, great growth things. When it comes to looking at what social media is doing, you've got to look at the top of the tree. And TikTok has been the top of the tree for a number of years now. Now, I do not know if you know this, but TikTok has been the number one downloaded app for the last 4 years running. It is the most downloaded app ever. Ever. This beats YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, or Uber, all the things. TikTok beats it. So when you look at it, this is exactly why TikTok is the leader in what's going on right now. But you need to look a little bit behind the scenes because TikTok has got a massive rivalry with YouTube. TikTok is not following Meta. Meta are following TikTok. So we can remove them from the equation. Meta have not been an innovator in the social media space for a really long time. All those guys do is copycat other people. So, you can look at Instagram stories. Instagram stories came about because Instagram at the time saw what Snapchat was doing and then infused that into the platform to something that we now know as stories. And it's done exactly the same thing with Reels. So we don't need to look at anything that Meta is doing behavior-wise to see that they are the leader in this particular field, because they're not. Whereas YouTube, however, YouTube has held the crown for video for friggin' years. So it makes sense that TikTok is going to be looking at the behavior and how YouTube has grown its platform, grown its monetization, and they're looking up to them as the leader. And that's where this rivalry comes in. Now, TikTok did try a little something else. We saw them really pushing the whole TikTok shop thing. And there was certainly that article that came out in the New York Post from the CEO saying that, they want TikTok to be the next big shopping channel. But I think that has completely fallen on its arse. I mean, me for one, I really have enjoyed TikTok over the years, but I do not enjoy the volume of TikTok shop that is just not of any interest to me at all, and it has pushed me away from the platform for sure. And I bet if they're looking at their metrics, that has happened to a lot of people. Is that behavior aligned to a platform that wants to grow and increase its monetization? No, absolutely not. So they got to come up with a different plan. And this is where in-video ads are entering the building. And I think this is exactly why they're asking us, or at least testing for the moment, landscape video. Whether their ads are going to sit above my head or below. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be above, right? Because you can't really see what's going down below. It makes sense. And if you look at YouTube's history, this is the path that they walked as well. In-video ads can only really exist. They can only really make decent money from in-video ads if the videos are longer, which is why they're asking us, and you've seen these notifications from TikTok, right, saying that they want landscape video and over a minute. It's the only way that they can possibly inject in-video ads into the content that we create, thus making more money for them. As I was saying to you earlier, Meta are not an innovator in this space. And one of the things that I have been noticing is, certainly over the Christmas period, is longer video over on Meta on Facebook that is landscape and definitely more than a minute long. I'm talking like maybe 5, 6, 7. I actually watched one that was 22 minutes long the other day. And I was kind of stunned. I actually watched the entire thing. So does this mean the beginning of the end of short form video in the portrait style that we are very used to seeing now? I don't think so. I think there's going to be room for both. And I think if we're going to see landscape video in the longer format really re-establish itself in the social media arena, I think that's going to be completely determined on how well TikTok manage to monetize the longer form video in the landscape style. So what's the golden opportunity? You might hear me talk about golden opportunities a lot. Social media does, it's ducking and changing a lot. And there are golden opportunities everywhere. The golden opportunity for you guys now as a creator is longer form video is here. And if you're creating content for YouTube And up until this point, you haven't really had anywhere that you can straight up repurpose it to. You now can, because you can put it up to 30 minutes worth of video in landscape onto TikTok, right? So you've now got two different platforms with two slightly different audiences to test that content out on. But I'm going to say to you, also add in a third, right? So like I said, I've been seeing on Facebook that longer form landscape video is performing really, really well in the millions. So you've now got an opportunity, if you prefer to create longer form video, if you've been a bit of a YouTuber and you want to increase exposure, start adding your content onto TikTok. Because I think for the next, I don't know, few months, this is going to be the testing ground that's possibly going to give you some really, really great opportunity.